What's going on, YouTube? If you're familiar with my channel, you already know about this bike, my 2019 Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R with the Austin Racing exhaust on it. That's the GP2. Love that bike. But today I want to talk about this one, my brand new 2021 Suzuki GSXR 1000R. I just brought it home about a week ago, and just been busy with work and whatnot, so I'm finally getting around to making a little review video about it and some of the things I've had done to it already mod wise before I brought it home. But real quick, as you can see, this is the metallic matte black, the black on black. It's got the high gloss black decals with the matte black bodywork, and then we have the kind of a copper gold, copper orange colored rims, wheels, whatever you want to call it, and then with the kind of a orangish gold colored forks, and I think it looks really nice. Some of the mods I've done on it, start here on the back. This right here, this is a Litec rear fender, tire hugger, since the GSXR1000 for whatever reason doesn't come with one. It just kind of helps guard over time road debris and crap from flying up on the rear shock absorber there, and I think it just looks kind of nice. This is the matte carbon. I could only find this in carbon, and just that little piece there was $225. So it's pretty crazy what some little things cost, but got to pay to play, I guess. You know, if you're into whatever your thing is, bikes, cars, guns, golf, whatever, you're gonna end up spending some money. So it is what it is, but I'm happy with it. I'm glad I got it on there. Also on the back here, I have the Yoshimura rear tail tidy, and I also have the Yoshimura rear turn signals. The rear turn signals, that was part of a little kit. It also came with a resistor to help slow down the flashing rate. However, the matching front ones that I have did not, so I ended up needing a separate relay to prevent the hyper flashing, which it only needed one, and that relay was like $8 or $15 or something. It wasn't much. So and there's no hyper flashing now whatsoever, so I love that. I think it looks a lot better than the stock incandescent bulbs for the turn signals. And then also right here, that's the Yoshimura front turn signal adapter plates, so that the smaller LED turn signal can fit into the bigger hole in the fairing from the stock turn signal. Fits in there perfectly, as you can see, and looks sharp. Let's see here, I got some Easy Grip Pro tank grips I'm going to be putting on, probably right there. I have one coming, I just ordered yesterday, and I also have some I'm going to cut to size and probably put right there, and maybe a little piece right there. Let's see, I got the stock exhaust. I was actually surprised for this being the stock exhaust. It's slightly louder than I thought it was going to be, and it's got a little more depth to it, which I was pleasantly surprised about. When I picked it up, the salesman said too, when he heard me first start it up, he thought it sounded pretty good for the stock too. When you get on it, when you're going down the road, it's got a little grunt to it. You know, it's got some growl. So, however, I am planning on getting probably probably going to go Austin Racing for this bike as well, like I did on my ZX6R. If in my videos on my ZX6R, if you're familiar with them, I have the, as I already said, the GP2 exhaust. For this bike, I'm thinking probably more going with the GP1R. Probably with the carbon fiber on the can, and then possibly the silver tip, silver or titanium. But oh yeah, that was my neighbor. He just wanted to check out the bikes himself. So, kind of forget where I was at exactly. But I was talking about the exhaust. I'm looking at probably putting a Austin Racing on there. It's not for certain, but definitely one way. Definitely where I'm leaning. In the future, I also may put a Olin's adjustable steering damper up here. This bike does come with a stock one right down there. It's not adjustable. Right now I'm just in the break-in period on this bike anyway, obviously. Trying to do it right for what it costs, so not looking at riding too awful crazy anytime soon on it, to where a steering damper might be really needed, but something I definitely think about in the future doing. Cost on this bike, the sticker price was $17,749, and by the time you tack on tax and some fees, little extended warranty, I did go with some gap insurance on this as well, which is if something would happen to the bike, and if insurance wouldn't cover the full amount that's owed, the gap insurance would cover the remaining amount. So out the door, this bike cost me just over $21,000, which is more than years back I would have ever planned on spending on a bike. But yeah, we only go around once, at least in this lifetime, so it is what it is. It's you know, I have no regrets. Insurance, I only pay, I believe it's $54 and some change a month for full coverage. I forget what that comes out to a year, but on my ZX6R I was paying like $34 a month in the beginning, and they dropped that down to $27 and some change a month for full coverage. That is super cheap, I'm aware of that, and I mean, if anybody doubts that, I can show screenshots of my bill. So it's I do have a good driving record, and I have multiple accounts with my insurance with State Farm, my homeowners, my cars, and all that. So but yeah, I got great rates, great insurance rates for sure. Also, I may eventually do a ECU flash on this bike, and I would probably have that done by Chris Moore of Moore Mafia down in South Carolina. If you're not familiar with him, check out his YouTube channel. He really knows his stuff. He does drag racing, he has his own shop, does dyno tunes, ECU flashes, all that. So check him out if you're not familiar with him. Also, one other thing, I have on order a zero gravity, I cannot remember that name for the life of me, zero gravity SR series windscreen in dark smoke. This is the stock, as you can see, which to me the stock even has a real light smoke tint to it, which is kind of nice. But I do have a dark smoke one on order, which it's back ordered, and I believe it said it's somewhere between 4 and 10 weeks out, so it's going to be a while before I get that, unless it shows up sooner. But I do have that coming. I think that'll look real nice. Couple first impressions on this bike, aside from the stock exhaust sounding better than I expected, as I already said. The screen up here I like a little better than I thought I would. It's I haven't had any trouble with reading it in even bright sunlight. I do have it on the brightest setting. It's got like 6 or 8 different brightness settings, but I haven't had any trouble with being able to see it even in bright sunlight. And I think it looks pretty nice. Otherwise, really, I'm a fan of just the old school analog tack with a actual physical needle that moves, like over here on the ZX6R. Yeah, just simple, useful, and can't go wrong with that, I think. But the screen, I don't mind. I'm okay with it. So let's see. Also, something else that surprised me about this bike right off the bat was how nimble it is. In about the first 30 seconds I rode it, I was kind of weaving back and forth, just getting a feel for the bike. And I thought my ZX6R was pretty nimble, but oh man, this is nimble. Holy shit. I think that's about it. That is my 2021 Suzuki GSXR1000. Hit that subscribe and like button, and stay tuned.